facts. I'll tell you what they are, and I'll even give you sources. The NAFTA agreement was signed more or less in secret by the three presidents in mid-August of the time, right in the middle of the presidential campaign, mid-August. Now, there's a law in the United States, 1974 Trade Act, which requires that any trade-related issue be submitted to the Labor Advisory Committee, which is union-based, for assessment and analysis. It was never submitted. A day before they were supposed to give their final report in mid-September, it was finally submitted. They were infuriated. The unions were very freaked out, but they were infuriated. They had never been shown this. They had strong, even at the time that they had the right to, they were given 24 hours to write the report. They didn't have time to look at the text. Nevertheless, they wrote a very vigorous analysis of it with alternatives presented, saying, look, we're not against NAFTA, we're against this version of it. Good analysis. Happened to be very similar to one that had been given by the Congressional Research Service, the Office of Technology Assessment. None of this ever entered the press. The only thing that entered the press was the kind of critique that they were willing to deal with. Mexico bashing, right-wing nationalists, and so on. That entered the press, but not the critical analysis of the labor movement.
Well, somehow by process of osmosis or something, I picked up quite a lot of anti-NAFTA arguments on the basis of worker protection, environmental degradation.
May I continue? This goes on in the press right until the end. By the end, there were big popular movements opposing it. It was extremely hard to suppress everything coming out of the labor movement, out of the popular movements, and so on. But they did. At the very end, it had reached such a point that there was concern that they might not be able to run this through. Take a look at the New York Times and the Washington Post, liberal media, and the national in the last couple of years. What you find is 100% support for NAFTA, refusal to allow any of the popular arguments out, tremendous labor passion.
Can I come back to make sure that I understand the point about the liberal press as against the conservative press? Because in Britain over the last 2 years, politicians I come across are deeply irritated, ranging on furious about attacks on them in the press day after day on issues which come to be known as sleaze. They feel that they are harassed, that they are misunderstood, and that the press has got above itself, is uppity and is destructive. That's the message that they are giving you. Now, are you saying that whole process doesn't matter? Because it's all part of my zone.
I mean, when the press focuses on the sex lives of politicians, reach for your pocket, I mean, because those are not the issues that matter to people. I mean, therefore, the issues that matter to people are somewhere. So as soon as you hear, the press and presidential candidates and so on talking about values, as I say, it's been I know that something else has happened.
But it's been much more than bed pocket. It's also been about taking money, about the corporations paying.
Corruption, corrupt judges, fine about it. Corrupt parties, big business is not in favor of corruption. And if the press focuses on corruption, it's pushing academia. In fact, they don't want the society to be corrupt. They want it to be run in their interest. It's a different corruption interferes with that. So, for example, when I was with the Bank of India released an estimate from its low that a third of the economy is black, meaning mostly rich businessmen and family. Well, that makes the press, because in fact, certainly transnationals don't like it. They want the system to be run without corruption, robbery, bribes, and so on, just pouring money into their pockets. So yes, that's a common topic for the press. On the other hand, the topics I'm talking about are not common topics, which is significant.
What would a press be like, do you think, without the propaganda? What would we be reading in the papers if we didn't read about it?
On every example that is a useful advocate, on every one of those examples, I think you can demonstrate that there's been a severe distortion of what the facts of the matter are. This has nothing to do with left and right, as expressed, and it has left the population free confused and marginal. A free press will just tell the truth. This has nothing to do with left and right.
And given the power of big business, power of the press, what can people do about it?
Exactly what people do in Haitian Haiti, which is the most poorest country in the hemisphere, they're greater than a vibrant, lively civil society in the slums and hills and conditions that are most likely to be you can say much easier.
You've got community activists in America. You've got I'm not talking about the several communitarian groups. I'm talking about the local community activists and writers all over the place.
All over the place. Pick a city like Boston.
In a way,
all sorts of people. They don't even know each other's existence. It's a very large number. One of the things I do constantly, one of the main purposes of people invite is to bring the people together, people in that area who are working on the same thing and don't know each other exist, because the resources are so scattered and the means of communication are so marginal. There isn't much they can do about it. Now there are things, there's plenty of things that happen. It takes a community-based radio, which is sort of outside.
I was going to ask you about that and about the internet, which has certainly got pretty open access at the moment.
The internet is, like most technology, a very double-edged sword. It has, like any technology, including printing, it has a liberatory potential, but it also has a repressive potential. And there's a battle going on about which way it's going to go, as there was for radio and television and so on.
About ownership and advertising.
Right, and about just what's going to be in it and who's going to have access to it. Remember, incidentally, that the internet is an elite operation. Most of the population of the world has never even made a phone call, so that's certainly not on the internet. Nevertheless, it does have democratizing potential, and there's a struggle going on right now as to whether that's going to be realized or whether it'll turn into something like a home marketing service and a way of marginalizing people even further. That discussion went on in the 1920s over radio, and it's interesting how it turned out.